Hello, superstar. Here's Mamadou and MamaStar, the good
Yo,
combo. Hi,
yo,
Mamadou.
hi, I'm loving these glasses and this hair. I'm like, who is this?
I know, right? Yeah, I decided to do something with my hair just to see how long it was. So the other night I was bored and decided to watch a video while I was doing my hair. So it's all good. I'm liking your yellow.
Thank you. This is my happy color.
And
My
I
dream
love
color.
how you have that, background matching. Yeah.
Money tree, my little money tree up
It's
there.
that good vibe of 111.
Yes, yes. It's my dream color. For some reason, I always wear a yellow scarf, yellow hat, yellow hoodie, and I never wear those colors in real life, so it was weird. So I started buying them in real life last year. Plus, I love the fuzziness. I'm real big on textures.
Well, the yellow color is the yellow of friendship. It's also, very fun, warm color. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy,
It
joyful.
does. It does. You were saying, you said 111. You were telling me about the three. That's what we're supposed to get on before I forget. Well, go ahead. I won't spoil it for everyone.
Well, today we have the code 111. And as you could see, one is being repeated 3 times. The definition of the one is basically the self. So, and when you see it repeated 3 times, we're talking about a frequency that entails the polarities of our reality, because it's a number of harmony, creativity. But in every energy, you have a polarity. So I use this particular oracle, and the message was innovations. So from that perspective, the opposite of innovation um, transformation is innovation. Feeling stuck. Let me just check real quick, double check myself. It's just a good example. It's chaos. There you go. So the opposite of, or the other polarity, or the polarity of innovation is chaos. And what brings us two energies together, innocence. So that was the advice. The energy that came to talk about this frequency, or, finding harmony, was a child. And it was to remind us of our inner child, how by using our inner child, we're able to open our mind, open our hearts, and find that innocence as we're looking at our reality, and transcend a lot of our hesitation or resistance. So the idea is that if we are open to the present moment and allow ourselves to be flexible, innocent, look at our reality in the same way that we used to as when we were kids, to be open to change and allow ourselves to refresh and rejuvenate all those areas of our lives where we may feel a little bit stagnant or stuck. So I like that, because basically, we're going to be working with a lot of frequencies that are, the number is repeating more than twice. And these are frequencies that are asking us that it's the time to transcend the polarities. We are masters already of, manipulating energy. So all we have to do now is take things to the next level. We've done things enough times to know how to create that. But now is being conscientious of, harmony, how we're going to harmonize an idea. We know there's two sides. And, it's harmonizing it, but also keeping an open mind. because it's an aspect of that process. You know, if you want to bring harmony, but you are holding to all kinds of definitions because you've now lived in this reality for 20, 30 years, and you know your experiences are this, it's not the same than when you're like, okay, you know, I'm not innocent, but I can be open and receptive for the now without carrying all this information that I know from the past and see where it takes me. So it's to be able to be open to the moment without caring so much. So I love that. I mean, it helped me realize, oh my goodness, these repetitions are basically telling us, I mean, most of the time we tend to think, oh, these angelic frequencies, but no, it's basically saying, you know, you need to embody these. It's to be able to remain flexible to the what is. And the best aspect of you that can help you do that is your inner child. So it's great how that message was given by a wisdom keeper that is a child.
Thank you for sharing. I stay on mute just so all the background noise in here and the heat. Then I was receiving that. What would you
Okay.
say? I feel like we live in a place right now where people are very pessimistic. Like, you know, like my career is going very well in the video, media and stuff. People go, oh, you know, Hollywood is evil. And, you know, all these messages are evil. I'm like, that. They just come from such a place of like fear, you know, like it's like, let's just say the media industry is evil, right? Or Hollywood is evil. What's the other side for me not to even try to join and balance out the messaging? Or do I just accept defeat and just sit here and not live in my purpose? So I guess my message would be, I feel like a lot of people right now are just afraid and scared. What would you say as far as setting positive intentions for the new year or the new Gregorian year?
Well, I think the most important thing is to know that you're a powerful person. You know, whatever you focus your attention, energy follows. So you need to decide how you're going to use your energy. You know, if whatever you look at, I mean, and this has been already proven. So if whatever you look, energy follows, what are you going to look at? What are you going to nurture when you look at something? Because, you know, you have the power of choice. So you choose to look at all the negative things, that's where your energy goes. Or you choose to look at the positive aspect of things. The universe, it's about 51% positive. So meaning that, you know, there's two sides to the consciousness, the universal consciousness, the dark and the light. So keeping this in mind, you know, we also benefit to know that the universe, for the most part, it's positive.
More
So
good
all
than
you have
bad
to
out
do
there.
is, yeah, all you have to do is try a little bit. You know, try to create repetitions in your life that are healthy by being optimistic and positive. Working with your mind, because basically the only aspect of you that keeps you feeling negative is your mind. You know, the mind just repeats what it already knows. All you have to do is train that mind. You know, sometimes I'm here by myself, and I've learned that because we are a combination of so many different layers, that there are outer layers that sometimes are not aware of the change that is taking place inside myself. So talking out loud with your body is really beneficial to let those aspects that have become hardened by matter, that, hey, there is a change in consciousness internally. Get with the program, get updated. Because those are usually the ones that tend to force you to look at what is happening externally, and it doesn't know what is going on internally. That's why sometimes you feel like there is a tug of war internally. It's not necessarily that it's happening so much outside yourself, it's happening within. So if you're feeling very pessimistic, that's because your environment inside, you're only looking at the negative things. So once you start working within yourself and doing the things that are going to make you healthy, and like, you know what that is. I mean, if you know sugar is bad for you, but you're choosing to eat everything that has sugar, and especially refined sugar, and then is your choice. You have that power to choose. So what makes you eat sugary things? You got to ask yourself that.
Well said. Well said. And I'm funny that you chose sugar. That's why I'm eating my nuts today. No sugar.
Well, I mean, I chose that because sugar has a quality to become addictive.
Very.
There's something in the sugar, like many other things that we use in our reality, that has that ability to have an addictive nature. But we need to take control. That's the only thing that we can control. It's what we choose to do, how many times we choose to do it. So if you know that alcohol has that nature of becoming addictive, and then wouldn't you be cautious about how much you drink?
Yeah, that's why I always say the addiction is more so about the person before they take the drink. You know what I mean? Like the person goes to the bottle because they're dealing with something or healing from something more so than because you've had alcohol and you didn't get addicted. I know people who've done cocaine and haven't been addicted. So I think it's unfair to society picks on the person who's addicted, but it's like it's not taking away the drugs. It's like with the crime. Crime goes up because people lose opportunities and they start vibrating on a much lower place and feeling like they can't succeed without only doing it this one certain way. It goes back to control and free will. That was something every conversation today has been going back to free will. And I think people giving up that, I think out of fear, people give up their illusion of control. Like right now, if we wind up staying in the house and we're begging for like $2,000 stimulus checks, the government's going to start shipping us food. And do you think they're going to let us choose whether it's Whole Food or Trader Joe's, or are they just going to ship us GMO rations and say this is what's affordable to feed 300 million people? Because that was the conversation we had earlier.
That type of thinking comes when you are trapped in a box. We are multidimensional once again. So our consciousness is not this, it's many things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get stuck looking at only one dimension or one frequency or a timeline, you forget that there are many other points of views, and that's how you end up feeling trapped. So an addiction comes a lot of times because we're not fresh, we're not new. Our body is, but our consciousness is not. And whatever we couldn't resolve in another timeline and incarnation, we get to resolve it now. So genetically, we have all of those memories. And if we have not been prepared to work with this particular timeline and all the rules and all the distractions and all the conditions, the tendency is to escape or to soothe the level of discomfort that we bring by doing those things. But once and I mean, I know this is kind of difficult because, trying to explain somebody who has an addiction or some sort of attachment, hey, you are much more than this, when they feel so small, so incapable of coping. It's hard, but you got to start somewhere, because the only way that we can transcend a lot of those addictions and attachments is by knowing that we are much, much more. The question is, can we provide the proper tools to help somebody understand that and start operating from that perspective. I'm an expanded being. I don't have to surrender to just one idea and only choose that path, because you end up in a dead end. So some people seem to adjust well to routines and be very black and white, but there are some of us that I can't handle that type of mentality. Now, in my case, I was lucky enough to use spirituality to help me expand. But if I didn't choose that path, I would have been in a hole, in a hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am the kind of personality that I need change. I need other perspectives. I cannot just surrender to one and think that this is the only one because society and everybody else thinks that that's the only way. I just couldn't operate from that perspective. So my thing was, I need to find a path. So, when we are so divided and disconnected, it's very easy to fall in that mentality and fall in those, attachments. It's like, it's my escaping mechanism, right? I'm using this to escape. But once you realize, oh my God, you're so much more, I'm so much more, it's you're not slave to anything anymore. But it's a process. It's not something that you can overcome right away, because you live in a reality where a lot of the people that surrounds you are not aware, are
Yeah.
not understanding what you're going through. So everybody's thinking, you're crazy, dude. What are you doing? So
Yeah, you start feeling crazy because you're like, this
yeah,
feels right, but everyone else is going the other
yeah,
direction, and
exactly.
I'm
It's
going this
like,
way. Well, let me ask
that's
you, because
right.
we're
That's
running
right.
long. So let me ask you real quick, because I do actually want. I'm just asking you questions I really want to know. Everyone else
No,
can
of
just tune in.
course. Go for it.
What's one thing that Mama Star, Sandra here, does to for that inner child work? Like just pleasing that inner child, finding that inner happiness that doesn't come with strings or expectations. That you just, what's something you can do for your inner child that's just for you personally, that for no one else?
It's a very good question, because sometimes I feel like I get really serious about my spirituality and forget to have fun. And it's not because I don't want to have fun. It's just that I get so immersed in trying to define the frequency, not because it needs definition, but it's like, how do I bring it down and put it into practice, right? So, my passion is to feel expansion. I just feel really good in that place where I'm not trapped by convictions or belief systems. Even though I have my own, I still have my own. But just to know that I can choose an apple and go out there and bring it in, it's really soothing and exciting for me. So sometimes I notice I get really serious about it. And it's funny that you bring that up, because yesterday I was listening to that song I was telling you, Crazy.
Mm.
And I was driving to the store, and that song brought that ability to tap into, I want to be crazy, like I don't have to be always serious talking about spiritual stuff, because everything is spiritual, you know what I mean? And just the fact that I have found my path to break free, it's like time to relax. And I think sometimes spirit tells me that, hey, you need to relax a little bit and just enjoy the what is, be human. That's what you're here for. So listening to that song Crazy just took me to that, and then together with the message of this wisdom keeper, which it's like this little girl.
Oh, nice.
The combination of these two energies brought me to that place of my inner child. And there was a sense of like, that jittering where it's like, oh, I'm a little girl and I can be a little girl.
Mm.
And because a lot of times the reason why we don't go there is because we have all these judgments about being immature, um, unsafe, naive, dumb, stupid. I mean, think about it. When you were a little boy, or if you did something crazy without thinking about it, your parents would be like, stop, behave, don't do this. And over time, what started as we're concerned about you because you don't know what's dangerous became a trap.
Mm. True.
And
It
I
created
thought,
everything.
yeah. So all of a sudden, all of these rigidness that we feel comes from that. And that's why we stop using our imagination. So listening to Crazy and listening to the messages of this little girl, I thought, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna play a little. And I don't know why, but I decided that I let my inner child come out. And it took me to, well, can you accept that you love somebody, even if that person doesn't love you back?
Hmm.
Can you just do that without having the expectation of, well, if you don't love me back, I'm not going to love you because my expectations are not being met? And I did that. And it was so liberating because, one, it took me to my husband who passed away and to just feel that connection. It also took me to somebody else who is still alive and I still love. And I was able to do that just like a child. Like, I put aside all of those expectations that was not met and why it didn't make our relationship connect. But I was able to be present and send love like the innocence of a child. So that was what I chose to do. And it just happened that it happened last night. And then the dancing, being able to dance with, a song and just let it go, be silly, just be.
True. No, I mean, I said it to one of my friends, and I was like, "See, this that song, and it's the song Gnarls Barkley, crazy. It
Crazy.
like the lyrics hit different when you're going through it. You know what I mean? It's you said a lot. Let me say that you said a lot, and I know we're already at
Well,
like
I was
25
listening to
minutes.
that song and I've heard that song before, but I don't know if it was because I was in a high or because the song actually says that. But what I was getting is that this guy must have lost it at one point and he went to a place that for the people around him, it was crazy, but to him was, oh, I'm free. And
Hmm.
yeah, I may appear to you like I'm disconnected but it's not because I don't know any better. It's because I know too much and I want to disconnect and I want to feel free. And I thought, yeah, that was exactly. So, like it just, I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what happened to him. I don't know, but it did it for me. That's what that song was doing to me. Like the crazy, how many times we call people crazy because they are not abiding by what society says or what we think is safe. And it's just that they're different. It's just that they perceive reality in a different way. So, what is really this concept of crazy? Different because it's not doing what everybody else is doing? Or because it doesn't make sense what the person is saying. So what makes a person crazy? And that's what this guy is, I think, is saying in the song, that yeah, for me, going out there and feel my emotions in a place that is unlimited is awesome. For you guys, is controlling your reality. Good luck. It's so true. I was like, damn, he knows what he's talking about. Anyways, it was
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, when you said it to me, I was like, because I've been going through this thing with time right now where like I'll watch a movie and I'm like, I can't tell if I've already seen this movie or if I'm reliving the experience. Like with Don't Look Up, it happened. And I'm like, I've seen this movie. And then I looked it up. I'm like, nope, this movie definitely came out today. You did not see this movie, at least not in this timeline. And I've been experiencing that a lot where like I have issues. Like even when you brought the Knowledge Break, I'm like, I feel like me and Sandra had this conversation before. I don't know if it was years ago or if I don't know if maybe because I don't see time as
Yeah,
a line. I've told you this. I see them like it's
right.
bubbles. You just
Well, it's
experience
just
different
funny
moments.
that you're feeling that, because what is happening right now is that many timelines are collapsing.
Mm,
And the result of that is you're going to feel a lot of deja vu, where you're
yep.
like, wait a minute, am I the butterfly? Or,
Or the
that
caterpillar.
butterfly effect? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's exactly part of these frequencies of the beginning of this year, where you're going to feel like, wait, did I go through this? Or, um, it's a really weird feeling, because you don't know which part is saying that.
True. Yeah.
So it's exactly part. That's why it's so important to catch up, because we're going to see a lot more of these frequencies vibrating now. We're going to really enter into that reality of seeing numbers repeated 3 times, and we have to get away from this idea that it's just the numbers. I mean, it's a message, but we need to embody those frequencies, especially if you see them, because it's basically saying you're ready. You're at a level of synchronicity that you're able to harmonize, these energies. And your subconscious mind is projecting those numbers to you because it knows that it relates to you.
Hmm.
So it's not just a random effect from the outside world. No, it's specifically tuned in with your evolution and your expansion. So you gotta,
Mm.
you gotta take it to the next level, but you have to embody that frequency. It's not just about, something that is.
Yeah, I think we give away control. We're like God and the universe and everything is happening to me. And it's like, nah, I think it's just a big, I mean, I don't want to get too metaphysical, but like even as a metaphor, the projection, like you project what you see. Like if I go outside and I go, oh, this snow looks beautiful. Look how beautiful this white snow is, versus me waking up and going, oh, it's snowing again. Like, damn it. Like look at all this damn snow. It's the same snow. You know what I mean? It's the same snow, but it's like the way you look at it really changes what it is. And that goes for everything in your life.
Yep. It's so fun. Yeah, it's true, because yesterday as I was listening to that song and that energy captured me, I was driving, and normally, I am not thrilled about where I'm at and where I live, but yesterday really put me in a whole different frequency where it didn't matter. What mattered was what I was feeling, and all of a sudden I felt my light, because we have a torch. We have a torch, um, of pure positive energy, divine energy, and that torch begins to grow once you start nurturing it.
Hmm.
But working with my inner child in that moment, I felt that torch, and I was like, oh, now I get that innocence, like you see things with a whole new eye, instead
Yeah.
of being so weighed down by experiences and information. And this is something, the irony is that a lot of teachers and sages would talk about this. When you're in the path of self-discovery and enlightenment, there is a time to learn, grow, and expand, and then you have to let it all go. And in Buddhism, it really takes you even to letting go of the idea of Buddhahood. You have to let go of everything. So you have to come back to the heart of a child and look the universe from that perspective. Of course, when you hear that and you're so used to using the mind and all of that, you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get there?
Mm.
But it's not really about thinking, okay, I'm here and I need to get there. It's just about being present and as comfortable as you can be with who you are, and being able to accept the aspect of you that you don't like in that moment. Because I noticed that about me, how critical I can be sometimes, and a perfectionist when I want to do something. And I don't like to judge other people, but I end up judging myself so harshly. And it's like, why am I doing that? What am I getting from that? So I want to do better, but I'm not accepting what is now. So I caught myself doing that. It's like, oh yeah, you want to do this better, but you can't accept this now as it is. So how can you think, how do you think you're going to get there if you're not accepting this? Because you cannot get there until you accept this as it is. And when that energy, you surrender to the isness, that's when spirit says, okay, now you're ready for the next one.
Amen.
So it's
Amen.
funny how even, people like me that, take this stuff so serious, sometimes we got to remind ourselves, hey, chill, girl.
Yeah, it's
Where's
not that
that inner
serious.
child? Hey?
No, it's funny you say that because that's really the message I received this past week was, like we always want more, right? We always want more. We always want more. But it's like, even with this humble house I have, it's like, if you're not decorating this and treating it with love and making the most out of this place, because this is something you prayed for a few years ago. There was a time when if you would have told me I had a 2 bedroom to myself and a backyard and a porch and a garage, I'd be like, what? But now you're here and you're just like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. And I realized, like, if you don't appreciate this and make the best of this, do you need a mansion? Do you need a bigger house? If you're not making the most of the 2 bedrooms, why do you need 8 bedrooms? If you're not grateful for the friends you have, do you need more friends? Do you need a lover? Do you need a wife? So I've been trying to sit in the now a little bit more. I am
Well,
sitting in
that's
the now.
because we've been taught to want and to
Mm-hmm.
desire just for the sake of desiring. So we have created a habit that is just about wanting. It's not about feeling it, enjoying it. So it's like, oh, you get to have it, and then what's next? Oh, you
Yep.
got it. What's next?
What's next?
So for those of us who may want a lot of things, but we don't need to have it and feel it to feel better, we fill up our mind with, I want this, I want this, I want this. And when we get close enough to having something, we're already jumping into the next thing. And that's the thing. Well, and I think that's has a lot to do with multitasking, this idea of I need to multitask. To me, that's the biggest division that you can create when you're doing too many things at once, because you're training the mind to just be all over the place and not be here in the moment, in the now. So how the hell you think you're going to feel good if your mind is split in 1,000 ways? So we have been trained and programmed to want, but not to reap the effects of how that feels. And now we have to change that, because to the type of level of consciousness that we're going, you can be all over the place because your energy is scattered, it's divided. You got to be whole. So we got to then teach the mind, hey, here. Oh, you want to go there? No, you got to come here.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many subtle ways to be divided. And to me was like, oh yeah, you want to make this better? Well, how about feeling good about the one that you did now, the one that you have now?
Amen.
I was like, oh, okay, all right.
But at least
I
meeting my
love when that
question.
happens, because it's like you create voices and you work with those voices, and you're always going to have the one that is going to say, oh yeah, where are you going to go with that?
Yeah. Yeah, but then what? You don't buy another car. But you let me in my thing, because for anyone watching, we still haven't figured out the format of what this is. We just said we're going to start recording our conversations, and this is number 2, so thank you. And I'm glad we did get started, because it's giving me ideas.
I am super excited to have MamaStar and Mamadou.
Mamadou and MamaStar.
I love it. I love the combo, and I love it too because you are young, fresh blood. You are the future generation from me, and it's very inspiring in these times to be able to have your generation and hopefully the younger generations from you to be able to have this someday and relax a little
Yeah.
and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, and like you said, the human experience is an experience we chose. We all chose to be here, but we forget that because someone at the top is winning and was like, hey, it'd be more fun if I controlled everyone and got them to work. But, well, I will ask you
Yeah,
this, though.
yeah. At your age, your age and even younger generations, it's so easy to get programmed, and we need to work that out in a way where you don't get programmed in a way that is not going to make you feel good. I mean, we've already done enough of that. So,
Hmm. Well, let me ask you. You hit on an interesting point with the timelines colliding. You know, I always say like the media speaks to me, and I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's a big thing they're working on right now with the multiverses. I want to kind of finish off because we're way over time, but I enjoy everything we said. Let's set an intention, right? Just to kind of check in with ourselves when we watch these videos a year later, 5 years, 20 years later. What's an intention you would set or you would recommend someone set during this time that we're in the now where things are colliding?
mm, an intention. Well, apart from what we talked already, I think it's important to remain grounded. And the only way that we can do that is working within ourselves. Um, we can go out there, but if we're not connected to the energy of Earth, we can't have this physical experience. And right now, to be able to bring all that power in, I mean, it's a lot that we're bringing in. We have to be grounded with Earth. So, anytime you feel like you're off or, confused, you need to stop, take a deep breath, and say, okay, I need to connect to Earth because she is the channel.
Amen. I mean, that's where we left off. I'm supposed to be grounding as myself, and I kind of forgot that part. I did the ancestral shrine. I just got to go print my grandmother's picture, but I got the
You did
candle.
good
That's why I got the
job.
mother. The mother plant is theirs. Not the mother plant. The money plant. I just put it there because it looks nice. But yeah,
Nice.
but
I'm happy for
I
you.
kind of
And
forgot about the
actually,
grounding.
ancestral bloodline does come with the energy of Earth. So we have galactic energy, and then we have ancestral energy, and the ancestral one is the one that connects us to Earth. So that's awesome.
Wonderful. And I thank you. Well, all right. Thank you for tuning in. It was nice seeing you, Sandra. You look great. I always tell people I'm gonna put this on the internet and be like, hey guys, if anyone's looking for a single mama star, you know, she's
Oh God, don't put that kind of pressure. It's okay, baby. It's all right.
yeah, I can't. I
Um,
can't.
you're like a son to me, so I love you for all your good ideas and your curiosity. You really helped me a lot to process things, so I appreciate you for that.
Right on. Synergy, right?
Yeah,
The yin and the yang and all that good stuff.
that's right.
Right
Thank
on.
you.